Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before.
Greetings and salutations, how's everybody doing? So we're back to talking about Star Trek Enterprise. So let's talk about 2 episodes called Xindi and the Anomaly. Let's look at the Xindi first. In this episode, the crew attempt to track down the location of the Xindi Homeworld by asking a lone Xindi enslaved on a mining colony. And after being tricked by him, Archer and Commander Tucker escape with him with assistance from Lieutenant Malcolm Reed and the ship's new military assistant command operations Mako team. Honestly, I gotta say this episode and the next episode, which is the Anomaly, I gotta say they both have a bit of a feel of like early after the reactions to say 9/11. And I gotta say, although this episode is action packed, especially for a series season open, it does its job pretty well. I do have to say that the action for it is pretty good. The aliens, especially for this episode, besides I'm sorry for mispronouncing the Xindi. Basically, I think they have a council of them. There's one that's basically like a fish alien, and then there is one that looks like a giant praying mantis bug that looks like, the stereotypical bugs from the 1950s. And honestly, I could say in this episode as well that Tucker has been having some issues trying to sleep well. So basically, he and T'Pol they start to, in a way, I think it's not cuddling and it's not, I think it's basically they have interactions with each other. And I think basically, in a way, if I could guess what's going to happen as the series goes on, they're going to slowly form a more of a romantic relationship as the series goes on. And honestly, I can see that working out well. Mostly because, say, at the beginning of the series, they had bits of issues with each other, and the fact that she's a Vulcan, and at that time frame in the timeline, Vulcans weren't really, a race that humans, had disagreements on, honestly. And, and I do gotta say, especially, say, the moments, when they're on that planet and they're just trying to get away, it's honestly pretty cool. And then the fact that we have a bit of, say, the fact that the planet is, kind of, destroyed, I guess, and basically it's revealed, say, the, ship that basically destroyed Florida is basically, a thing from the future or something like that. That's honestly pretty cool. A thing that is not happened yet, but it's going to, happen as quickly as it possibly can, in a way. And I'm gonna be honest, say, I enjoyed this episode. I will say that, honestly, this episode went by fairly quickly. And I guess, honestly, in the same time, I was trying to have a little bit of issue trying to find clips of this to use as well. Oh, the moments when they're on the planet and, like, say they're trying to get their hostage, and I feel like, say, eventually, yeah, we know he's going to set them up or something like that. And actually, that's what happens, but eventually they're able to escape. Honestly, I think it does well as an episode for a season opener. And it gives, like, especially the makeup and all that stuff does a pretty good job, honestly. But let's get into the episode, which is the episode The Anomaly. What actually happened in this episode? And what actually happened in this episode? Well, in this episode, the Enterprise is attacked by another vessel, and they pursue it, discovering that aliens have information on the Xindi, which they must retrieve to help them on their mission. Honestly, yes, I gotta say the 9/11 analogies are really quite prominent in this episode, in the fact that Archer is really going after them. Like, say, there's a moment, like, say, in the episode when he's just trying to say, you're gonna tell me the name of the bad guys and all that? And they basically say, you're not threatening me, and then he goes, oh no. And then basically he just, yeah, I feel like he's saying, like, this is the moment where the show kind of really honestly gets dark, in the fact that basically he basically sucks the air out, and he's not able to breathe in. Even the crew goes, like, say, Captain, this is insane. The episode opens up with the ship attacking, and honestly, the effects for it are kind of, like, say, kind of goofy. Like, I mean, see it for yourself, honestly. And honestly, I think the moment when, like, say, like, John, like, sees, I mean, not John, like, I mean, yeah, Jonathan Archer. I was suddenly thinking of, John Crichton from Farscape. But, yeah, there's a moment where, like, he is, like, so, like, is my coffee floating? And I gotta say, like, yeah, like, the aliens that are part of that alien council, they return again. And they go, like, say, we want the humans, and all that. And honestly, I gotta say, what was it, the makeup and prosthetics for this episode is honestly pretty good. We have more moments where, Tucker is basically, like, say, hey, T'Pol and I are still, like, you know, interacting with each other, talking about our dreams and all that. And honestly, yeah, I can honestly continue to think that the series is gonna, like, say, yeah, we're going to go head on into a T'Pol and Tucker relationship kind of storyline. And yeah, I think that the episode does a pretty good job, and it makes me wonder how far are they gonna go with, like, say, the analogies to 9/11. Is that gonna continue, or is it just these two episodes? Because it was really quite prominent, honestly. But I mean, honestly, the acting for this episode was honestly pretty good. I'll see you later.